life is just better when you love yourself. Your relationships change, your confidence grows, and you stop making choices just to please everybody else. Hey, self care warriors, welcome back to Hold My Purse, a self care journey through life. And if you're joining for the first time, I am so grateful that you are here. Whether you've been rocking with me for a while or you're new to this space, I appreciate you. This is where we talk about putting yourself first, loving yourself fiercely, and living unapologetically because you, my friend, deserve nothing less. I'm Ro, your self care accountability partner, and today we're talking about something that can change your entire life: self love. Not in the Instagram quote, just love yourself kind of way, but in a real, deep, transformative way that shifts how you move through the world. All right, let's be real. Life is just better when you love yourself. Your relationships change, your confidence grows, you start making choices that actually serve you instead of trying to please everybody else. But I know self love isn't always easy. We're conditioned to just put everyone else before ourselves, to second guess our worth, and to accept less than we deserve. So today, we're unpacking all of that: why self love is a game changer, how it affects every part of your life, and most importantly, how to start truly loving yourself today. So grab your tea, your coffee, or your wine. I'm not judging. And let's get this party started. Okay, let's get started here. What does self love actually mean? Because we hear it all the time, but sometimes it's just thrown around without any real context. To me, self love isn't about being perfect or always feeling amazing about yourself. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness, dignity, and respect that you give to other people that you love. Think about it. If your best friend came to you and said, I feel like I'm not good enough, would you say to them, yeah, girl, you're right. You kind of suck? Heck no. You remind them of how dope they are. You list all their wins. You lift them up. But how often do we do that for ourselves? Self love is not just self care in the spa day, face mask kind of way. Those things are great, but real self love, I'm talking about that real self, deep love, is about setting boundaries without guilt, walking away from what drains you, and choosing peace over proving a point. And lastly, talking to yourself with love, even on those hard days. A few years ago, I hit a breaking point. I was exhausted, mentally, emotionally, spiritually drained. I was overwhelmed. I was frustrated, stuck in a job I hated, and questioning everything. I mean, I was like, is this really what life is supposed to be about? This can't be what our creator intended for me. This might sound a little wild, but my wake up call came from watching the show Insecure with Issa Rae. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Issa and Molly had their self care Sundays, and something about that just clicked. The next week, I made a decision. I started telling folks, Sundays is my day. No babysitting, no obligations. Sorry, I love you, Aria. But Sundays were about me and whatever was going to bring me joy. And that moment, that small shift, watching the show changed everything for me. I started meditating. I learned to protect my peace with boundaries. I let go of toxic relationships with love, stopped entertaining energy draining people, and I haven't looked back. Now, no matter what happens, good or bad, I got me. And that's the most powerful love I've ever known. Now, for my people that like receipts, let's talk a little science. Self love isn't just a nice idea. There's real research showing that it affects everything from your stress levels to your relationships. Dr. Kristen Neff, who's basically the Beyonce of self compassion research, found that people who practice self love actually have lower stress and higher resilience. Why? Because when you're kind to yourself, your body doesn't go into fight or flight as often. You're not constantly feeling like you have to prove your worth or seek validation. Your nervous system literally, literally calms down. And get this, a study in the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found that people with strong self love experience better relationships and greater life satisfaction. Why? Because when you love yourself, you stop looking for other people to complete you. And instead, you bring your whole self to the table. All right, let's talk real life impact, because once you start loving yourself, everything, everything changes. And I don't mean just a feel good kind of way. I mean your entire life starts shifting. The way you move, the way you show up, the way you let people treat you, it all evolves. And one of the first places you'll notice this shift, your relationships. Because when you start loving yourself, you stop entertaining anything that doesn't align with that love. It's not always easy, but it's necessary. When you love yourself, you stop tolerating half love, disrespect, and bare minimum effort. You stop settling for crumbs when you know you deserve the whole meal. You stop bending over backwards for people who wouldn't take a step for you. And here's the thing, you don't beg for what you deserve because you know it's your birthright. For me, this hit hard when I realized I was pouring into people who weren't pouring back into me. For instance, I have a friend that is uh, drama filled. Every time I talk to her, it's always some drama. And I kept like trying to uplift her, trying to help her get past that. And then I realized, like, after I talked to her, I felt like I had a ton of weight on my shoulders. And I was trying to make sense of it. Like, why, why am I trying to uplift her and pour into her if she's not pouring into herself? Like, that didn't make any sense. And yes, it is hard to walk away. But I promise you, once you do, you make space for the right people to come into your life. People who see you, who appreciate you, who match your energy instead of draining it. And here's the wild part. When you start letting go of people who don't serve you, something else happens. You start standing taller, you start feeling lighter, and before you know it, that self-love starts showing up in ways you never expected. Watch out now. And one of the biggest ways is your confidence. And let me tell you, when your confidence kicks in, it changes everything. Confidence isn't about being loud or perfect. It's about knowing who you are and owning it. When you love yourself, you stop second guessing your worth in rooms where you belong. You stop shrinking. You stop playing small just to make other people comfortable. And let me tell you, when you carry yourself like you belong, the world responds with that energy. Opportunities find you. People respect you differently. You start attracting what aligns with your worth instead of what aligns with your insecurities. And with that confidence comes another game changer. You stop feeling the need to prove yourself to everybody. Come on now. You stop over explaining, over apologizing, and bending yourself into a pretzel just to be accepted. And that brings me to the next point. Because if you've ever struggled with people pleasing, this one is going to hit home. Now, this one right here, this is for my recovering people pleasers, my yes people, my I'll figure it out folks, my I don't want to disrespect anyone crew. Listen, listen, listen. Because that little kid said on TikTok, listen, Linda, listen, Linda, listen. When you love yourself, you finally understand that no is a complete sentence. You don't have to justify your boundaries. You don't have to over explain, over apologize, or over function just to be worthy. You don't have to be everything to everyone at the expense of you. And I get it. It feels uncomfortable at first. But every time you say no to something that drains you, my friends, you are saying yes to yourself. I have a few sayings that I say all the time. Sorry for your troubles. Rhonda's in the no fucks given kind of mode. And honestly, once you embrace that mindset, life feels a whole heck of a lot lighter. All right. So now that we know self love is the key to everything, how do you actually practice it? Because let's be honest, this isn't an overnight thing. Self love isn't a switch that you can flip. It is a daily practice. It is a commitment to yourself. And there are going to be days when it's not easy. Other days it'll feel like work. But the more you show up for yourself, I promise you, the stronger that self love muscle gets. So here's a few small shifts you can start making today. Things that seem simple, but will completely transform how you see yourself. Number one, think about the way you speak to yourself on a daily basis. If your best friend came to you struggling, would you tear them down? Would you criticize them? Absolutely not. You would build them up, remind them of their strength and their worth. But how often do we extend that same grace to ourselves? Self love starts with your inner voice. If you wouldn't say it to someone you love, don't say it to yourself. Step number two. Now, we're going to take this just a little step further. We are so quick to celebrate our friends, our family, even strangers on the internet. But what about you? When was the last time you hyped yourself up, gave yourself credit? You don't have to wait for someone else to validate you. Start keeping a win journal. Write down something you're proud of every day, even if it's small. Over time, you'll see how much you're growing, how much you're already doing. Number three, say no without explaining. This one right here. This is a game changer. If talking to yourself with love is about your internal world, setting boundaries is about how you navigate your external world. Let me say that again. If talking to yourself with love is about your internal world, setting boundaries is about how you navigate your external world. Now, listen, boundaries are not about pushing people away, they're about making sure you aren't pushed past your limits. So, practice saying no without over explaining. No, I can't do that right now. Period. No long winded excuse, no guilt, no shrinking yourself to make others feel comfortable. Protect your energy, protect your peace. Just say no. And last but not least, number 4, take up space for you. Stop playing small. You are worthy of the things you desire. You are not too much. You are not asking for too much. You are allowed to take up space in this world, in your career, in your relationships, in your dreams. Walk like you belong because you do. One thing I do throughout the day is I say to myself, I love you, Ro. You're fucking awesome, Ro. You're beautiful, Ro. And you are deserving of everything your heart desires. I'm just saying, take up space. Up next, Aria speaks.
Hey, Aria. Hey, Mimi.
How are you?
Good.
How you feeling?
Good.
Last night we went to a sound bath with my friend Devin. What did you think? Would you go again?
Yes.
So how did you feel when she was playing the bowls? Like, what do you remember?
Feel like somebody was like itching, like scratching me after a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, and it felt good.
Wow. And you told me that you took off your eye mask and you looked at Devin. What was she doing?
She was playing different. She was going to big cup first, small to biggest to smallest cups.
The bowls, and then
Yeah.
she had some. You said she had some steak.
And then she will roll like the outside. And then she will go to the next bowl.
Right.
And then she would just play music. And then she would just use the cups, the bowls, to like make more music, like a beat.
Oh, that was pretty cool, huh?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Did you see?
I did. No, I fell asleep. You fell asleep.
I did.
And I had a hard time waking you up. Do you remember that?
No.
You were just like gone. I was like, Devin, I was like, what kind of magic did you put on my child? She will not wake up.
Did you ask her that?
I did. And she just started laughing because you were still asleep and I was trying to wake you up. And everyone was packing up their stuff and they were leaving. And I was like, I cannot wake her up. I felt so bad. You were in a good sleep.
Yeah, I was.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. And if you want to go again, let me know, okay?
I want to. Whenever you go back to sound bath, I want to go.
Okay, I will take you every time I go. It's every first Friday.
Every Friday
Every first Friday. Every first Friday of the month.
So it's next week, is it?
No, it'll be in 3 more weeks. So it's a date, right? Okay.
Bye, girl. It smelled good.
It did, didn't it?
It smelled like so many different candles. She put lavender on my hair.
Oh, that's right, because you kept going like this. You were like, did you like it?
Yeah,
I can still smell it. I can still smell it.
I can smell mine a lot.
Yeah, and then she blessed you and she sprayed some rose water on you. Do you remember that?
How is that rose water?
Yeah, it was in a bottle. So it's like water that had some roses in it, and it's good for you. Did you like that?
Yes. I know how to make rose water. You just get water and roses.
Yeah, very simple, right?
And then you just mix them.
It's good for your skin.
Ooh. That's why my skin felt soft today.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you came with me, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'd be happy to take you again. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Bye, girl.
Bye.
I so enjoyed taking Aria to the sound bath. I mean, she's 7 years old, so I wasn't quite sure how she was going to respond. Well, one, there were other kids there, so I think that kind of helped. But she loved it. And I told her, I said, if you want to go, my friend Devin at Sacred Sounds by Devin, if you want to follow her on Instagram, she does these sound baths. I am committed to taking you. And she said she wants to go. So there you go. All right, that's it. But I want to leave you with this. Life is too short to spend another day doubting yourself, shrinking yourself, or waiting for permission to love yourself. You are already worthy. You don't need to earn self-love. It's your birthright. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with a friend who may need to hear it. Feel free to leave me a comment and subscribe. It is my goal to build a tribe of self-care warriors who live their life to the fullest. And if you're looking for a way to go a step deeper, check out my Love Yourself Journal, a 365 journey to self-care and self-love. And I'll put the link in the show notes. Before we go, let's affirm this together. Wherever you are, take a deep breath and repeat after me. I am worthy of love, my own love. I embrace who I am as I am. I release doubt and step fully into my power. Every day I choose myself. And in choosing me, I choose peace, joy, and abundance. Until next time, self-care warriors, remember, love yourself first, take up space, and never apologize for choosing you. Peace. Today's episode is sponsored by Self-Care Shorty, your go-to for homemade skin products that keep you moisturized, healed, and at ease. Discover these amazing products today at selfcareshawty.etsy.com. That's selfcareshawty, SHAWTY.etsy.com.